Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Frank. I'm the socially distant chef. I'm distancing myself from you because we're in the middle of a corona quarantine. Today, I'm going to show you how I make one of my favorite dishes, one of my son's favorite dishes, seafood ciappino. Seafood ciappino in southern Italy, my family's from Sicily, is a seafood stew. It's made with shrimp, mussels, clams, sometimes scallops, and as a nice base to keep the seafood sauce thick is we use some nice bacala or codfish. Here are some of the ingredients I have laid out in front of you and how we're going to put them in. First and foremost, we'll show you one of the most important is 10 cloves of garlic. It's important, you have to have 10 cloves. Next is you have red onion. Red onion is going to give you that little bit of a zing, and that's good for the sauce. Now you have the yellow onion. The yellow onion is going to give that nice sweet flavor to your sauce. A handful or a large palmful of basil gold chopped just roughly because you want it to taste it in with everything that you're going to have. Now here we have the chopped parsley as well. Same thing, a large palmful, and I'll show you how we're going to put that into the sauce in a moment. One of the secret ingredients that a lot of people don't understand, the hearts of a celery. You know those yellowy flowers that are in the middle of your celery stalk? Just take a little bit of it and chop it up nice and fine. This is going to give you a lovely fresh taste to your sauce. Now as far as the seasonings are concerned, we have a tablespoon of salt, a tablespoon of dried oregano, a tablespoon of dried basil, a tablespoon of dried garlic powder, black pepper, and crushed red pepper. That's all going to start in a beautiful bed of golden olive oil. I use Robusto because it has a beautiful, beautiful flavor. And I also mix in 2/3 of a cup of chicken stock. Now here in this wonderful bowl that I'm not going to tip over and spill all over the place is 2 cans of tomatoes. You can use plum tomatoes, chopped tomatoes, diced tomatoes, tomato sauce, doesn't matter. The magic is in everything you see in front of you. When we come back, I'll start the assembly process and I'll show you how all this goes together. Oh, sorry everybody. I'm Frank, we're back here. I'm going to tell you exactly how we assemble this sauce. It's going to be beautiful. Now the first thing we do is we're going to put the oven on medium heat. The next is we have our olive oil. We're going to pour it in the pan. It's going to get golden, it's going to start to heat up, and it's going to start to sing. So you're going to listen and you're going to hear that little bit of pss, 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 and that's when you know that now it's time. Next thing we have here for you is the garlic. 10 cloves, has to be 10 cloves. Next, we're going to do our 2 types of onions. The yellow onion, the red onion. We're also going to put in, don't forget, the hearts and the nice yellow green flowers of the celery. We're going to put that in. We're going to take half of the basil that we chopped before, just half of it. Then we're going to take half of the parsley, and just half. Okay. Now, we have our seasonings. So we're going to go with putting our salt in, and we're going to put that. We're going to put that, a little bit of crushed red pepper, garlic powder. Bam!
Hey, you can't say that. That's copyrighted.
All right, I'm sorry. All right, Boaz. There you go. Okay, it's in there. And always a wooden spoon, not a steel spoon. Your sauce is going to taste like tin cans or metal. You don't want that. So you're going to use a nice wooden spoon. Can you hear it? Can you hear it starting to talk to you now? So now you're going to give it a nice stir. You're going to get everything coated with the olive oil and the seasons. And you're going to mix it up, and now you're going to hear it. It's nice starting to listen to the sound. That's the sound you want to hear. This is what we call sweating out the vegetables. You're going to get the moisture and the juices and the flavors out of the onions, out of the garlic, out of the celery, out of the basil. What we're going to do now is turn this down, I'm going to say to a medium low. We're going to put the lid on it, and then we're going to let it sit. And then we'll be back and we'll show you what it looks like in just about 10 minutes. Okay, look inside the pot. Can you see? Everything's giving you that little bit of wilt, and you're starting to see the juices come out. Now what I do is I add the 2/3 of a cup of chicken stock. I turn the flame up a little bit to medium-high. We're going to try to get as much flavor out of our vegetables as possible. So now this is a good time when I'm going to add my codfish. We're going to add 2 pieces. And we're just going to leave them in there until they start to fall apart. So once this all starts to cook a little bit more, and I think just in a couple of seconds you'll start to hear that wonderful bubbly sound. It's going to be, I wish you could smell this. It smells incredible right now. So now I'll take, I think it's singing. I think it's just about there. Okay. We're going to take the tomatoes. We're going to add the tomatoes. And here we go. You're going to give it a nice big stir to get everything mixed together. You're going to leave this on a high heat. You're going to have to stir quite frequently to make sure that you're not burning the sauce in the bottom of the pot. The other thing that we're going to do is when they talk about depth of flavor, they're not just talking about the different types of things that you may have put in that to develop a flavor. It also means the fact that we're going to season this sauce. And when I mean season, meaning add different spices to it, we're going to add different spices to it at least 3 times, maybe 4, during the entire cooking process. When I make a Ciappino sauce, it takes somewhere in the neighborhood between 2 and 3 hours to complete the sauce and the process. Right now we're seeing the sauce. After a little bit, we'll come back after the break and I'll show you how I do the mussels. I'll also show you how I prepare the shrimp. And then I have some nice bay scallops. I bought some beautiful bay scallops. And we'll introduce you to that as well. In the meantime, I'm going to finish the rest of my wine and then we'll see you back. Okay, it's been about an hour. I did add, this is 20 port. And the only way I measure it, and I'm sorry everybody, is it needs 3 glug glug glug. So glug 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 glug. That's just about as much as you need. It's going to add a nice rich color to the sauce. It's going to add a nice body to the sauce. Also, I have already seasoned it one more time with the same seasons we used in the beginning. Another tablespoon of basil, dried basil, another tablespoon of dried oregano, dried garlic powder, crushed red pepper, and salt. Now, it's been a half hour. The bacala, the codfish, is very nice. It's soft. It's thick in the sauce. Now we're going to add some bay scallops. And the bay scallops, too, we're going to add that nice, fresh taste of the sea. And it's going to give you a nice, meaty bite when you get a piece. So we'll put that in there. That's going to cook for another 15 minutes or 20 minutes with the scallops in it. In the meantime, when I come back, I'm going to show you how I prepare the mussels. Okay, thanks. Alright, I'm going to show you how we're going to do the mussels. Now everybody's going to say, Franco, what about you? You not put it in the sauce? No. I cooked them separately and I'll give you the reason why. Say you get a couple of mussels that are bad and they have sand in them. Do you want sand in your sauce? No, you don't want sand in your sauce. You spent a lot of time on this sauce. You don't want sand in your sauce. So what I do is I heat up nice olive oil, and here they go. You already hear it sizzling. We're going to add some chicken stock. Then we're going to put a cover on it. Watch. nice pizza tray. Now in about 15 minutes or probably less, they're going to start to open, and then we'll put some basic seasonings on it. And I'll give you the answer for why we do that. If you season it and you have it nice with a little maybe white wine sauce, I have some white wine, we'll add some white wine to it. Your friends, if they don't like red sauce, they can have it separate. You can serve them mussels and white wine sauce. If you put them in the sauce and cook them in the sauce, they're going to turn to rubber. Nobody wants to chew on a rubber mussel. So I feel confident that this is the best way to do it. If you wind up with one that's a little sandy, all you have to do is just pick the mussels up individually and put them in the sauce at the end. So I'll show you that step when we come back. Okay, here we are. It's been about 11-12 minutes. The mussels are all fully opened. As you can see, it's nice. The meat is white still. It didn't turn yellow. This means that this is good. This is ready to eat. I added just about the same thing, a teaspoon or a tablespoon of garlic powder, of a little bit of salt, black pepper, some oregano, and this is it. Now we're going to transfer this over to a bowl and we're going to let it sit. We're going to pour our sauce over the top of the mussels. That's how it's going to heat up. That's how the mussels are going to absorb the sauce like a sponge when they're nice and white. Okay, when we come back, I'll show you the shrimp. Because I'm not putting the shrimp in there, we're going to cook the shrimp separately again. Okay, see you back.
Go.
Alright, put the shrimp in the hot pan. Same pan as the mussels. I just rinsed it out with a little water. Put it back in. I'm doing the shrimp like I'm doing a scampi. Just a quick one. A little bit of butter, a little bit of garlic, a little bit of oregano, black pepper, and a little bit of basil. Just toss them around a little bit. You want to keep them firm. You don't want to overcook them, but you don't want them on a high heat. Alright? In about 10-15 minutes, not even, probably closer to 11 minutes, they'll be done. And then we're going to set them aside. And then you'll watch me put the whole dish together. And then you'll understand that if you would put these shrimp in that pot of sauce and cook it for the hour, 2 hours, 3 hours that we cooked it, it would taste like a piece of shoe leather. Even if you tossed it in at the end, it would put a little bit too much fishy taste into the sauce, and that's not what you're looking for. You're looking for a nice sweet sauce with a little bit of zing from the crushed red pepper, a nice sweet from the basil, a nice spicy from the red onion. So if you put any kind of fish in at the end to cook, it's just going to make it too fishy. This is my recommendation. Take your fish, cook it on a separate burner, on a separate pan, put it off to the side, and we'll assemble it when we come back. Okay, we're back. This is what we have so far. Our sauce is done. It's been about 2 hours, a little bit over 2 hours. We seasoned it 3 times with the basil, the oregano, the garlic, the salt, the pepper. 3 times. We did our mussels, and we did them outside of the sauce in a separate pan with a little bit of white wine. You use the wine that you drink. There's no such thing as cooking wine. If you like a wine, that's the wine that you use to cook your food in. So we used a nice white wine, a little bit of butter, a little bit of olive oil, garlic, salt, pepper, and oregano. Then we did our shrimp. Same thing, just like a scampi, if you were going to do a scampi. What we did here, and I'm not going to tip it over to spill it, is we saved the juice from the mussels. That's also very important. And you got to have Arthur Avenue bread. Bread from the Bronx. You know, that's what you need. Nice, crusty Italian bread. Now I'm going to show you how we assemble the dish to serve. First, we're going to take some of the mussels and we're going to align them around the outside of the bowl. Everything's nice. It's pre-cooked. They're beautiful. They're tender. And remember to taste. It's not a crime to taste, as long as you don't eat the whole plate before your company comes. Alright. Now, we're going to ladle out our sauce. We're going to get our sauce all over those mussels. Look at that. Nice and steamy. It now has a nice piece of codfish. It's got bay scallops. Look at that. You can see the chunks, you can see the basil, the gold. It's wonderful, wonderful. Okay, here we go. Last little scoop, last little scoop. You don't want to waste anything. You get every scoop. The next thing we're going to do is we're just going to put one little half a ladle of the sauce from the mussels in there, because that's going to give us this nice fresh seafood flavor. All this is served with a nice crusty bread right in the bowl. You serve it right in the bowl, because this is how you eat it. You eat ciappino with a spoon. So here you go. Nice. Now we're going to add the shrimp right on top. And here you go. This is from my kitchen, my family to you. This is Sicilian ciappino, a seafood stew, abbondanza.